Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by special guest, John Frank Hamann. Most of you would know him walking around the city. He is an icon. He is a legend. But more than that, he is here. His name is John, but you all know him as the Milverine. So, I've after looking for about a year, I finally got him with me. So without further ado, how you doing, Milverine?
Doing really good.
It's doing good?
Yes.
After this whole setup, thanks for being patient, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's new? What's going on?
Well, I'm doing like various things. I was at Putler's Hall last night for a comedy show. I got to meet Charlie Barons, famous here in Milwaukee area, and probably famous all over,
Yeah, YouTube. He's a big influencer.
Right.
Yeah. How was that? How was the roast? It was a roast?
Oh, yeah. It was Putler's Hall Roast, Milwaukee Roast Championship semifinals. There was several excellent comedians there. There was a lot of laughs. There's constant laughs. A really great show.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, man. I've been trying to track you down for a year. You're a hard guy to find. You walk around a lot, though.
Yeah.
How is that every day? You just walking?
Well, it's good because we take different areas, and the weather's always different. There's always different things to see.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Well, let's jump into it. Where were you born?
Born here in Milwaukee, 1962, on the south side.
South side? What area in the south side?
Around the Pulaski High School area.
Okay.
It's around 27th in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife graduated from Pulaski. Where did you graduate from?
Pulaski, 1980.
Yeah, good old. Is it the Rams?
Yes.
The good old Rams. Did you play any sports?
I tried wrestling for a while, and then I didn't want to starve myself to make a weight, so I got into weightlifting. Yeah. And you can just weigh anything at weightlifting,
Yeah. How was your childhood growing up?
Oh, absolutely perfect. I grew up midway between Wilson and Jackson Park. There was always a place to go. There was L. Simmons Field.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things in the area, stores, like Southgate Mall, Point Loomis, you had the Point Loomis Theater, the Southgate Theater, all within walking distance.
Mm-hmm. Man, you also had the hockey.
The rec center.
Yeah, the rec center.
That was really something. When you were really young, that was a huge pool back then.
Yeah. What were hobbies that were real big for you growing up?
Well, I was playing sports all the time,
Yeah.
The three main ones: baseball, football, basketball. Track and field, boxing, wrestling.
Yeah.
You name all the major sports I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing you walk over all of Milwaukee is pretty impressive. What's a day in the life of Milverine?
Well, in what way,
Just in general, you walk everywhere. Do you have a set destination where you're walking when you get up?
No. We just go different areas.
Yeah.
Sometimes we at night, we going down Brady. There's a lot of people there, people that work in those various places, that own the places.
Yeah.
We go down Oakland Avenue. We take the Oakley Trail down Esbrook Park. There's always different things to see.
Yeah, and you always have your companion with you.
Yeah, my dog has unrelenting stamina. I can walk all night.
Yeah. What's your dog's name?
Princess.
Princess. You treat Princess good. She seems very happy.
Yes.
I always see the pictures, you different places all over Milwaukee. Who gave you the name Milverine?
Okay, some guy that works in the third ward in advertising. He's a big fan of the X-Men, and he couldn't name me Wolverine. He got a patent on that name, so they named me Milverine for Milwaukee's Wolverine.
How did that feel when that happened?
Actually, he did it without telling me, and I just gradually found out about it.
Wow.
So I thought it was humorous. I got a kick out of it,
Yeah. Man, you love walking.
Yeah.
If that's the one thing. How many miles would you say you walk a day?
Probably 45, 50.
45?
Right.
50. Your legs don't, you probably just, come accustomed to it where they don't burn anymore.
Definitely.
What gets you walking? I don't think anyone's ever seen you in a car before.
Because I don't like cars. My dad never drove a car. My mom didn't start driving a car until she was in her 40s. So basically, we had a whole family basically walked every place.
Yeah. Man, well, you with all the walking, you wanna wear comfortable shoes. What type of shoes do you wear? What brand? Is there a certain brand you stick with?
Believe it or not, no. I just get like all different kinds of shoes. I never pay more than $25 a pair. Mm-hmm. I don't think if you pay like a lot more, basically, if you can walk far, you're in good shape. You can, if you're out of shape, you can put on the best shoes and not be able to walk very far.
Yeah. Well, say someone wants to come along and make you a brand shoe. What would you name it?
Probably the Happy Wanderer.
Happy Wanderer.
The famous German song,
Yeah. So, what part of Milwaukee would you say you love walking around the most?
Probably the older neighborhoods is more to see. Once you get like south of Oklahoma, it's basically you see a lot of ranch houses. I mean, basically all the houses look alike. The architecture is better on the east side because it's all different houses.
Yeah.
There's a lot more things like various churches, various parks, just various everything,
Yeah. Man, well, I'll tell you, I always love walking alongside Bradford Beach. That's always a cool place.
No, definitely.
Better beach than those in LA, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Bradford Beach, USA Today said it's one of the best urban beaches. It beats a lot of the beats Venice Beach in California.
Yeah. Well, you ride along or you walk along Bradford, you always see volleyball games, the huts where they serve the drinks. It's a cool place, Bradford. When was the last time you were down there?
I'm down there all the time. We've been getting out down there a little bit later. But we're down there basically all the time, because we take that Oak Leaf Trail to Esbrook. And we get off, we go down there, Lake Park, Bradford Beach area.
Yeah.
Mostly later at night. My dog doesn't like hot weather.
Yeah.
But it likes everything else except real hot weather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always keep water, stay in the shade. How old is your dog?
3.
Good old princess.
Hasn't been sick for 1 day.
You keep her pretty healthy with all the walking, man.
Right.
How did you come about getting Princess?
Believe it or not, my brother, he was going by this area. Mm-hmm. And there was dogs for sale. And he goes looking and says, man, I want that one. He saw it right away and he knew I'd like it.
Yeah.
And you really don't know because it's a mixture of Beagle and a Shih Tzu, and it took after a Beagle. It's basically 95% Beagle. Mm-hmm. Even though it's got the fur, I say it's a Beagle. People say it doesn't look like a Beagle, but it takes after a Beagle. It's got, if you see it soaking wet, it has like a longer body. It looks like a small greyhound.
Yeah. Mm. What would you say you love most about Milwaukee?
Just everything. The people, the neighborhoods, just about like everything. I can't single anything out. But, all the festivals, mm-hmm. Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, all these like Jazz in the Park, like Chill on the Hill. All these places. You even got one at Caddish Park. They got all these concerts around the city during the summer.
Yeah.
There's just constant activity going on.
Yeah. Well, you like your outside life. I found out that you like opera.
Oh, of course.
Man, who are opera singers who stand out for you?
Okay, when you mention him, everything. UC Jorling, he's like the Swedish tenor.
Yeah.
He's regarded as the greatest singer of all time. Very few people know about this guy. If you want to look him up, all you have to know his first name, Jussi, opera singer, Jussi. Greatest singer of all time. Pavarotti agrees with it. They asked Pavarotti about this Jussi guy, and he says, I can't compare myself with him because I'm only human. Yeah. That's all they looked about in this guy.
What? How did you come about liking opera?
Okay, they had that 3 tenor concert. Pavarotti, Domingo, and Carreras.
Okay.
And basically that was huge. And then through that, I found out all these other names. Now, the best singer of the United States is Mario Lanza. Mm-hmm. Lanza's basically a step above Pavarotti, too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Absolute superstar. And I got to meet his son, Damon Lanza, at Festa Italiana years ago.
Really?
Right.
How was that for you? What was that? What were the emotions, experience?
It was like the vast majority of people, even Italian people, didn't even know who Mario Lanza was. So, like, you mentioned the name Damon Lanza, they basically go, who's what? But for me, that was like the big thing. That's like if you like basketball, meeting the son of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Because Lanza, he was the top, Mm-hmm. Just like Jordan was the top basketball player.
Yeah. What, do you go to concerts every time they come in town, or?
Well, I come, sometimes I go see the MSO, they got it at the Warner Theater now. It's supposed to be a really good place. They spent like $100 million, renovating it. Mm-hmm. And everybody that goes there likes it now.
Okay.
The thing is, classical music basically, like there's 70 members of the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. They can walk the streets of Milwaukee. Nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
So it's not like something that like a lot of people know about.
For sure. Well, it's definitely unique. You don't come across a lot of people who, not saying that it's bad music. It's an acquired taste, would you say?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you. What's a notable, you're a notable, basically like icon in this city. The city has definitely embraced you. What does that mean to you?
Well, I like it because both my parents grew up downtown.
Yeah.
I had a lot of relatives over in Milwaukee over the years. My dad grew up with Bill O'Donnell. Bill O'Donnell didn't even drive a car, the county executive, until after he retired. He would just get on a bus on Wisconsin Avenue, take him to the courthouse when he was county executive.
Yeah.
So if you live basically in the downtown area, you really don't need a car.
For sure.
You can just get your stuff right there,
Mm-hmm.
So.
What do you feel like sometimes the attention is a lot?
No, it doesn't bother me because I'm constantly on the move. I don't like standing on the street corner and wave to people. I'm constantly moving,
Yeah. Well, you're very active on social media.
Yeah, I just started it like November last year.
Yeah. We get the pictures of you and Princess everywhere you walk around the city.
Right.
You do live videos here and there.
Right.
And you kind of, go around the city talking about what would you say, what was the longest walk you've taken from point A to point B?
Probably about 75 miles.
Damn.
You just keep like 5 miles an hour, walking, and then you can just average it out for 15 hours. You get 75 miles,
You're walking all the time. Do you ever run?
Yeah, I I don't like run slow if I run at all. I like to run like 400 meters as fast as I can to get the heart rate up. I like running up and down hills.
Do you ever listen to music when you walk?
No, because I can't because, basically you got a lot of traffic and everything.
Yep.
You don't want to be distracted. All it takes is one time to get hit by a car,
For sure, yeah.
Right.
What type of music are you into? Well, other than opera.
Okay, I can just tell you my 3 favorite summer songs.
Okay.
The Summer Breeze, by, what do you call those guys? Seals and Croft, I think they are.
Yeah.
And then, Summer Nights from Greece and Summer Nights City by ABBA.
Okay.
Those are 3 great songs summer,
Yeah. How was your past summer here?
Absolutely fabulous. We were out every night.
Every
Sometimes
night.
14, 15 hours. So I really keep up on all like social media stuff.
Yeah. What area do you consider your home? Not giving out your address, but
Probably Bayview.
Bayview.
Right.
Yeah, that's the stomping grounds where you do the most.
Yeah.
What's a favorite restaurant you have in Bayview?
Believe it or not, I haven't eaten out in a restaurant in 40 years.
Wow.
I'm not a foodie,
No?
No.
Okay. What's we live in Wisconsin and drinking is a big thing.
Never drank in my life.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
Good for you. I'm going on 2 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah, man. Milverine is sober. Always has been.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, you would never want the urge. It's,
No.
it's just a way of life.
Right.
Growing up, who were mentors and influences in your life to the type of character you have? Because you're genuine, you're humble. I hear nothing but great stories about you. Who were mentors and influences?
Probably my dad.
Your dad?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was a real humble guy. He either walk or take the bus to work, worked at the courthouse for his whole life.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell us more about your dad.
Well, my dad, he had like a twin brother and 3 older sisters. I grew up in Milwaukee. And, it's just like they mentioned, Bradford Beach, go down there. This is back in the 1930s. My dad was born in 1925. So, the city was growing there. My dad had a bar on State Street in the 1950s when the Milwaukee Braves were really doing good.
Yeah.
And that's the last time. I think they won like in 57.
Mm-hmm.
The last time they won a World Series. And that really brought excitement. During the 57, the Braves were the big thing in Milwaukee. Baseball was number 1 back then. Basketball and football weren't quite as big then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, man, Milwaukee Braves. Didn't Bob Uecker play on the?
Yeah, I think he had like his average was 200, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs.
Look at you.
Right.
So sports is a big thing you like.
Right.
Who's your team of choice right now?
I like the Bucks. Great freak, Giannis, the greatest basketball player in the world.
Yeah.
He needs a guy basically to take some of the load off him. He can't carry the team on his shoulders by himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever had the chance of meeting him yet? Or?
No.
Well, we got to make that happen.
No, he's a little smaller than me. I'm just kidding. Hey, I like to see this guy. My favorite basketball player before him was a guy named Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to see him. Think of both those guys on the same team. Who could beat him?
Yeah.
Those guys up and down the court, they do everything.
Well, they're so tall.
Right.
Giannis has the Euro.
But believe it or not, some
they just linked up, I think, for training.
A lot of people don't know those guys. Some of those guys, 6'9", 6'10", are clumsy as hell. These guys could move up and down the court like
for sure.
Right.
Legends.
They're physically strong, too.
So you were down by the Deer District during the championship? Yeah.
I was there every night. It started it went all the way from like May 20th to July 20th. It went on for 2 months.
Yeah.
It's just a gradual build. When they lose a game, everybody really quiet. You win a game, it's like wild as hell,
Yeah. When they won the championship, what was that emotion?
No, that was like, I've been waiting 50 years. I remember the first time they run this was way back in 71, Kareem Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, that was his name. Yeah, when Lou Alcindor was drafted out of UCLA, he signed autographs down at Gimbel's. I was one of the first people to get his autograph.
Yeah.
My dad's number one sport was basketball, and he was real good. He played in the CYO League. He was like an all-star in that.
Yeah.
And I would say he was like a white version of Allen Iverson.
Okay.
I'm telling you, my dad, if you saw the guy, he's like 6'1", he had the hands of a guy like 7 feet tall.
Wow.
Once he got that ball in his hand, basically he could do anything with it. He's just like John Stockton, the guard. He could just shovel up, just run down the court and pass it because his hands were so big.
Yeah.
That's one of the real key things in basketball. You can't be a great basketball player if you have small hands, period.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Here, worded from the Milverine.
Right.
Well, you love the Brewers too.
Of course. I was going, when Bud Selig bought the Brewers back then, they were basically getting like 5,000 people to go to some of those games. Yeah. And in 82, it just exploded when they made the World Series. Mm-hmm. And basically they got down to 7 games. They lost to St. Louis. If they would have won that game, that would have really been something. Yeah.
What was it like for you, because you were around during that time where the clubs changed? The Braves went to Atlanta.
Right.
Brewers came into Milwaukee. How was that change? Because I could tell you, going from Miller Park to AmFam, it's kind of one of those, it's the future, but at the same time, you want to hold on to what the legacy that was built.
Yeah, the thing is with County Stadium, it has 10,000 more seats than the current place in American Family Field. But the thing is, every seat now at American Family Field is basically a good seat.
Yeah.
You just, you can have 80,000 seat stadium and all those seats crammed together and every seat lousy, but that American Family Field is far superior to County Stadium.
Yeah. Right. County Stadium, what are your best memories in there?
Man, being on those bleachers, getting on Reggie Jackson's case. The Yankees are the most hated team. There's a series there. Everybody's getting on Jackson's case. The Yankees, they couldn't stand it. It was like the most hated team at Reggie Jackson. They would pick it up.
Yeah.
You play right field, and everybody in the bleachers there would say, "Hey, Jackson, you're a bum," that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't hate me for this, but I was born in the South Bronx.
The Bronx Zoo.
The Bronx Zoo.
Hey, Sparky Lyle, he wrote a book, The Bronx Zoo.
Yeah.
He said on Reggie Jackson Day, they had a Reggie Jackson candy bar. Mm-hmm. Some people were throwing them on the field. Sparky Lyle went up, opened up a Reggie Jackson candy bar, took a bite, and he said it tastes like cow flop.
Yeah.
Really, that's in his book, The Bronx Zoo.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Right.
Baseball, Who was your ultimate favorite player growing up?
Okay, when I was growing up and everything, Hank Aaron, they brought him back for the DH and everything. Mm-hmm. I really like Cecil Cooper.
Cecil Cooper, yeah.
A lot of people, you get up to the plate and everybody go, Coop. No, not lower than that, like Coop.
Coop.
If the people don't know, they think they're booing him, but it was basically Coop,
Well, we had a player on the Bucks where we were like, Moose.
Who was that guy?
John Henson, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Moose.
Right.
I think that was his name.
But that year in 82, like Cooper basically hit over 300, had a lot of home runs, a lot of RBIs.
Yeah.
I think he hit like 345 that year.
Man, well, yeah. I mean, you got to watch some legends.
Yeah.
Robin Yount.
Right.
Cecil Cooper.
Right.
Hank Euchre.
Right.
Man, Just total legends.
Robin Yount, when he started, he was 18 years old. When he's one of the youngest major leaguers of all time.
Yeah.
He's kind of scrawny, then he built himself up.
Yeah.
And he started hitting for power. He had a lot of doubles, And one year, I think he hit over 20 home runs.
Yeah, well, fingers too. You got
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers.
The finisher, when they started having those save those games and everything. At the time when he retired, he probably had more saves than anybody.
You had a special moment with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh yeah, throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, man, that's not many people get to do that.
Right.
What was that like for you?
Well, I know some people try to overthrow, so you just calmly take and throw to the catcher.
Yeah.
I know 50 Cent's get overexcited. He threw the ball into the dugout, I think.
I watched as you went up, you were, yeah.
Right.
You
got to show you're a little bit excited. You can't act like you don't want to be there,
You looked like you were, you had a mission, man.
Yeah, I grew up playing baseball. I was a pitcher,
How did that opportunity come about?
Okay, some guy that does the events there sent me a message. Would you be interested in that? And I said yes, and it was all set up in 3 or 4 days.
Really?
Right.
Man.
The thing is, he was texting me. He told me to text him on the way there because do you want to set it up? You can't, that's a live thing.
Yeah.
So if you show up 20 minutes late, it's over with.
Yeah, your chance is gone.
Right.
Man. Well, so many people watched it. So many people shared it.
Right.
I was still searching for you.
Oh.
You're the Milverine.
Right.
And I am Professor Xavier.
Professor? Or Harvard?
Yeah. I am Charles.
Right.
So, with summer coming to an end and fall coming in, what are the plans for fall?
Well, the things I got set up and ready. I'm going to be at a wrestling show next week. Then I'm going to be at a UFC event, maybe in Waukesha County, in the cage, taking pictures with people.
Okay.
Then I'm going to be at a meet and greet at the Harley thing, with a couple of professional boxers.
Mm-hmm.
I like professional boxing and cage fighting. I consider myself an expert in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Well, you get invited to a lot of events.
Right.
I'm very grateful that you ended up showing up today, to be honest with you. I didn't know if I was going to get an answer, but you definitely showed up.
Yeah, because I'm on Facebook now.
Yeah.
Before that, I would say people would say you want to do something. I said, just chase me down in the street.
Yeah.
People would do it. Kathy Michael Beach, Channel 12, she was working there for almost 40 years. She chased me down the street by the public market to do a story.
Wow.
She was in her mid-60s. I referred to her as somebody in her late 60s on the video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She says, why'd you say that? I'm only 65.
Really? She's like, don't put no age on me.
Right.
Yeah. What is the most memorable time you've been on a platform that stands out for you?
Well, like that Vice video.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah, that Vice video, basically, that was all set up in a couple of days, too.
Seriously?
I had no idea, who they're going to send over or what it's going to be like. It was all done at the spur of the moment. So after they filmed something in my house, they said, just go over to Mobcraft Place because they named the beer for me.
Yeah, okay.
And that was all set up, basically, right away, a couple of days.
Well, you've also had songs made up.
Oh, yeah, the guy that did the song was in this place, the Okayansky's, not that long ago.
Yeah.
2.5 stars.
John
Newcomb. Hey, John, how you doing?
Do you know who John Newcomb is?
Yeah, he's a school teacher. He's the guy that wrote the song,
Yeah, he was my kindergarten teacher.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I met you that night.
Oh, yeah.
Because I came to meet him after decades of not. He popped up on Facebook and I saw him and I'm like, is that Mr. Newcomb? Is that Mr. Newcomb with a guitar in his hands?
Did you?
Huh?
You go to that Rogers Street School?
Riley. I went to Riley Whitcomb.
Right.
Over the Lincoln overpass. Right there.
Right.
I went there first and second grade. And kindergarten and first grade. He was my kindergarten teacher. So kindergarten, first grade. But when I met him that night, he contacted you and you showed up. And
right.
That's how I finally met you. So it took me coming to see my kindergarten teacher to end up meeting you.
Yeah, that Newcomb, I think he was teacher of the year one year.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe it. He was a great teacher. I never forgot about him after I left. I often went back, and then the last time I had went back, that's when they told me he had basically, he was done at Riley. And it's kind of a heartbreak because I'm like, where did he go? And then all these years later, he just pops up. I see he's in a band, and Yeah, it was awesome. We met up here in this establishment.
Right. This Newcomb guy, like he volunteers for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy, everybody knows him, like in the Bayview area. Everybody likes this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Great guy. You've literally been such a iconic person for the city. What is it that you want to be remembered for?
Well, the thing is, remembered.
Or a legacy?
Okay, it's just somebody like basically that likes the city of Milwaukee, likes to represent Milwaukee in a positive way.
Yeah.
And, just out and about all the time. Nothing like more than that. I don't really look at myself as anything special,
Yeah. What if they made a statue of you, kind of like they did Fonz?
Yeah, they would have, if they spent $1 million, but I wouldn't want like some cheap, it'd have to be down to the finest materials, I'm just kidding.
What type of movement would you want to be in, a walking motion as a statue, or? Right.
Hey, believe it or not, Henry Winkler, I got a chance to meet him like when he was at the height of his Fonzie fame. He was at the Variety Cup telethon, at Old Schrader Hotel, now it's the Hilton. Mm-hmm. But there were so many people. He was such a huge star. People rushed him and almost knocked him right off the balcony in that hotel.
Yeah.
Hey, this Henry Winkler guy, most people don't know. He was the #1 TV star of the 1970s. Mm-hmm. He went from making like $2,000 a week to $100,000 a week.
Yeah.
This guy was a superstar. You look at this guy now with the gray hair and all that. When this guy played Fonzie, basically, he was the #1 TV star for years.
Yeah.
Huge star. That show was set here in Milwaukee.
You live in Milwaukee your whole life. Have you ever traveled outside?
I only went outside once to go to Chicago, see the museum, basically in a school trip. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. I have no interest in going traveling anywhere.
You're just Milwaukee.
Yeah. I could care less what any, all our places are,
Oh, my boy say Milwaukee's home, the good old 414.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to our youth out in the city right now? Just, you got a free spirit so for any type of free-spirited person growing up in Milwaukee, what's the advice you would give them?
I would tell like young people to get involved in sports, try to find hobbies, try to be active, don't sit in the house, try to eat right, try to obey your parents and everything, and just try to be a good person overall,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, you taking your time out, a busy schedule, walking around all over the city, but I appreciate you coming on. I love that we did this. What platforms can people contact you on?
Okay, you can get me on Messenger on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, I'm on Facebook and Instagram now.
Yeah?
Right.
Are you working your way to YouTube? You will be with this platform.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I get it like on that YouTube.
Yeah.
The thing with that YouTube is even if you have 100,000 subscribers, those people don't really make that money.
Nah.
No.
Well,
I know somebody that has one of those that has 150,000 subscribers, and she says if she wasn't married and her husband had a job, she couldn't make it alone on that 150,000 subscriber thing.
Oh, wow. Man, I'm trying.
You have to get up to a couple million, really, if you're going to make any money on it.
Yeah. Well, Milverine, I appreciate you taking your time out. And, I'll see you around, I'm pretty sure. And with that, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, with that, Spearhead out.